Hotep, Black Power, giving honor to the ancestors as always, giving honor to the Creator, giving honor to you all the melanated brothers and sisters all across the planet, especially those who are fighting for the liberation and salvation of our people. What I want to talk about today is how we can actually, make a expedited move as to. Well, let me just put it this way. We can make a lot of progress in terms of our growth and development in the black community expeditiously. If we only, make the certain sacrifices that are needed to be made, and that one instant microwave gratification and microwave results for any type of contributions that we may make as a people. In other words, we have to learn to be patient. Also, Black Power to the original Black Panther Party, which I was observing yesterday. And, I noticed that the work that they put in, because a lot of people just think that they just grab a whole bunch of rifles and put on black jackets and patrol and walk the streets yelling Black Power. But it was far more to that movement than you can possibly imagine. I had watched it, how they had to, go out and get the food to provide the breakfast program, free breakfast program for children. How they had to have professionals, that knew how, professional cooks, how they had to get the food, how they had to store the food up, how they had to count the food and ration the food out each day. How they had to arrange the tables, the chairs. Somebody had to clean up and do the dishes. Somebody had to keep the books. The free clinics that they developed. How they had to have real licensed practitioners, medical practitioners and doctors and surgeons and dentists to run the free clinic. To have all the equipment, dental equipment, surgical equipment, all the medical supplies that was needed to operate a free clinic. And this is one in one city. Even the weapons, how they had to have the weapons inspected properly to make sure serial numbers were on the weapons and the firing pins and things like that weren't damaged or broken. The newspapers, how they had to, have a newspaper press to press all the newspapers, and to stack them up, and to run a official newspaper, and then go on the streets and have our brothers and sisters sell these newspapers on the streets. And, the newspapers sold back then for 25 cents, but it cost 12 cents to produce each newspaper. So, the profits that they made went back into keeping the breakfast program and the free clinics and the newspaper press in operation, and, to be out there. And then you had to have spokespersons, you had to have lecturers, you had to have debaters, and then you had to have an army, and it wasn't an easy task. Like a lot of us, never looked at that aspect of the movement. It's nothing like this new Black Panther movement. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm back. I had to get my tea. Got tea. So, to have those things, operate in the manner in which they operated and be successful, and at the same time they had people patrolling the streets, policing the policemen. That movement was really, functioning on a very high frequency. But as you know, infiltration and the infiltration of people that look like us, help destroy that entire movement. But before I go in that area, I'm making a point as to what the street law soldiers, this is the format and the mission statement that we have laid out, and we've been working on trying to make this come into full fruition. We already give out the clothes, we give out shoes, and we give out food, in the most povertized and drug-ridden areas, of Washington, D.C., and surrounding areas. However, our goal is to have a free breakfast program for the babies, because they can get a nutritional breakfast before they go to school, because it's a scientific scientists have discovered, black scientists have discovered, that if the children have a nutritional meal prior to going to school and being able to concentrate and successfully complete their assignments in school, 90% of them that have had a nutritional breakfast were successful in completing those school tasks, and they were able to sit in their seats and be calm and patient and have composure. But at the same time, we do that. We want the breakfast program for the fact that in the black community, unfortunately, we have a lot of our queens and brothers who are parents who are struggling, with substance abuse, as to the point where the children are not eating nutritional meals in the evening or in the mornings, because to get to the core issue of it, in other words, a lot of brothers and sisters that are parents be selling their food stamps for drugs and shit, and the children suffer behind that, so they're not able to get a full course nutritional meal each and every day, because hot fries and Arizona iced tea is not a meal, in which that will also bring in frustration within the child, and they begin to hold resentments and anger towards the parents. And then when they go on the streets and begin to do for themselves, and a lot of the older children will take care of the younger siblings, and then they all lose respect for the parents, and which causes a lot of friction in the family. And then so much emotion and emotional corruption and emotional and mental chaos in that family setting, that someone ends up going to jail, someone ends up leaving, as a point of being tired or not feeling man or woman enough to be able to carry out their parent duties. And the cycle is it's a vicious cycle. It's a chaotic, vicious cycle. But the core of it is white supremacy. Because these crackers don't allow brothers to be gainfully employed, in their so-called government or subcontract with the government, because of their felony conviction or past criminal history, which was designed and set up like that, as a tool to block the black man out of the workforce, the military, college, and have him, at a very, very subordinate level in terms of the workforce, being a garbage man or working 2 and 3 minimum wage jobs, just to make ends meet. This was designed, this was set up like that, and that's why, the judicial system, Like Dr. Neely Fuller has stated about the 9 components that consist of that make up white supremacy, the system of racism, white supremacy. That law is one of them. Where you have public pretenders, public defenders, who go and make these fucked up deals and railroad 90% of the brothers, because 95% of our cases in courts are plea bargained out. Where our brothers want to come home, so they'll take any type of deal to get back on the street and take a conviction. It's set up like that, and by you taking that conviction, that automatically disqualifies you from being rightfully and gainfully employed in the workforce, where you can make substantial earnings, where you can be able to provide for your family. All this shit was set up like that. But back to the Black Panther Party of the original Black Panther Party, because this new Black Panther Party is no comparison to the original Black Panther Party. It was a lot of work that they had to put in. But with the assistance of people that look like you, that were infiltrators, that have never been seen or dealt with for their betrayal and bringing down one of the strongest movements in black history. Some of these motherfuckers are still walking the streets. You see them in documentaries, openly talking about how they, were paid by Gad Hoover and the FBI to fuck over these, to fuck over the brothers and sisters in the movement and bring the movement down and participate in shootouts with the police. And that's why, long live the spirit, of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. He was trying to bring that whole energy back into the new Black Panther Party. And the same shit happened then. People that look like us tore that movement down, and they're still walking around. Nobody has stepped to them, whatsoever. So I really admire the work that they done, and then to the point now where some of the old original Panthers are not getting their props and the honor and respect that they should be given today. I saw a clip where one of our revolutionary icons, an iconic figure, Daruba Ben Wahad, was beat up by some members of the new Black Panther Party under the orders of Malik Zulu Shabazz, in which this elder's jaw was broken and he suffered major bodily damage. And this is an elder, one of the original Panther 21 that was went down with Afeni Shakur, and 19 others, Daruba Ben Wahad, and spent 19 years, in the penitentiary, fighting for the liberation and salvation of black people and the generation that was ahead of him. And that's the way that generation paid him back, by breaking his jaw, which was some fucked up foul shit. And we act like we are afraid to speak on shit, and that's how I can kind of gauge your level of commitment. Because when you are totally immersed and entrenched, into the liberation and salvation of our people, you don't give a fuck who's in the way or whoever. If they are wrong or they out of order, they out of pocket, and they need to be checked, a real revolutionary gonna check them. It's just that simple. And I see a lot of people do a lot of contradictory, bullshit. You'll talk that shit, and then when you're in the presence of these motherfuckers, you take pictures with them, you hold interviews and all this shit, phone interviews and all this, and I don't do none of that shit. If you are one of them fuck boy ass niggas, and you know who you are, don't come to me, don't come around me with that bullshit. You'll never get an interview from me, because I have nothing to say to you. Because you are a hindrance to our growth and development as a people. It's just that simple. And I want to also touch on some of the things, what we have to do, as a family. And brothers and sisters, the black man, the black woman is God. We are the creators of everything. We are the original everything. We're the strongest motherfuckers walking. The black woman gave everybody permission to exist. All other colors come from black. And she is the goddess of the universe, without doubt or contradiction. But we have to take our place, our rightful place on the throne. We have to develop some self-love. Begin to love yourself. No matter what your condition is, no matter what your situation is, you were ordained to be a fucking king, to be a ruler of the planet. You were ordained. This is ordained by the Creator. This is ordained by the Creator, that you are a fucking warrior, black God. And it's time to enter and get on your God pedestal, man, so you can get and function on that high frequency. The reason why I do video clips, like I said, when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself at the same time. Because I'm on a mission to reach my God and be on a God frequency. And function on that frequency 24/7. That's what I strive to do each and every day. I'm not bullshitting behind the cameras. I'm a different motherfucker and all that. I'm the same person. For the many and thousands of people, of brothers and sisters who know me, this is me. This is the real me. Because I don't know no other way but to be me. Because through trials and tribulations, and dealing with your iniquities and dealing with your transgressions, which will help mold you into who you really are, and it helps you find yourself. Yeah, excuse me for the interruption, but I work each and every day to function on that God frequency. And you, like I said, you have to love yourself. Make some affirmations, meaning write something down on some sticky paper and put it in your mirror, that I'm gonna try to be the best I can be. I am a warrior. I am the original man. I am the original woman. I am a king. I am a queen. I am my best friend, and also I'm my worst enemy. And function on that frequency. It's time, because we have the ability to do it. That's why so many thousands of brothers and sisters out here putting in work, because it's supposed to be done, because we can do it. The ancestors and the Creator have laid it out for us. The map has been laid out. All we have to do is follow the basic instructions and stay the course. Be patient. And annihilate anything that's preventing us from reaching our liberation. That goes for anything and anybody. If you look at the history of our people, we always got what we wanted, and we always came out on top after we had to get down on a physical level. I've never seen a war won with books. I've never seen a war won in no courthouse. Now, I've seen the end results after the war, where the courthouse and the books came into play to reestablish new laws and new principles and new instructions, new divine instructions to live by. But that's after the physical confrontation. Because when you're dealing with a demonic energy, they're not willing to. Demonic energy is selfish, it's cruddy, it's greedy. And a demonic energy is not going to give in to the spiritual God energy. And that's where we at now. But we're trying to compromise so much, and pray and hope that the motherfucking devil has a change of heart. That's why it's the devil. It's the devil. The devil is, if you take the D off, it spells evil. And the D means doing it, damage. And we have to, and the God, G-O-D. We got to go. We got to go, G-O, and do the same damage. It's not complicated. It's not complicated. But it's a lot of things we have to give up that will eliminate the fear of this motherfucking devil out of our hearts. Because we're scared to death of this motherfucker. We are scared to death of this motherfucking cracker. And you got to get that out your heart. And it can come through the way of, change your diet, change your environment, change your thought process, change your spiritual foundation, and all this will come into play, all of it. It's not hard. I mean, it's a hard and long road that we're gonna have to go down, and that's based on us, running from this motherfucker for so long. Now it's time to deal. Now it's time to get down. And a lot of us, including myself, a lot of us may not see the final results of this motherfucking battle, of this insurrection, of this revolution. What do you think when you read the Bible? The last book in the Bible is what? The book of Revolution. They say Revelation, but it's the same shit. Because if you read it, all it talks about is serpents and demons coming, and then we have to fight. We have to fight and pick up our sword and fight this motherfucker in order for us to win. The book of Revolution that's in the Bible. We have to stop being so pussified. Just like you got all these guys, brothers and sisters, that come on these do these video clips for the purpose of getting hits and the purpose of aggravating and stirring up anger in conscious people. O'Shea Jackson, Tommy Sotomayor, thoughts of, Mind of Jamal and all that. These old coon motherfucking niggas, in my opinion, they need to be murdered. They need to be murdered for the influencing of the demonic energy into a godlike people. In other words, you motherfuckers need to be killed for implanting love of the devil in the godly people. It should be a consequence for that. And I'm just being fucking honest. I'm being straight up. I'm laying all the motherfucking cards down. Not only that, we gotta stop, taking his substances. Staying high and drunk all the motherfucking time. And this is for people that are active addiction. The worst thing an addict despises is when everybody around them begins to clean up and start moving forward. Because when you rid yourself of those substances, you go nowhere but up. You begin to move forward. And it's all, you get a whole bunch of rewards for each and every day that you're fighting to reach your God frequency. It's the rewards in that. You begin to think, you begin to look better, you begin to feel better. You begin to put healthy stuff in you. Because if you can't control what goes in you, in your mouth, you definitely can't control what comes out of your mouth. So it all boils down to redisciplining yourself. And don't be ashamed if you fucked up, you getting high, you shooting up and snorting and drinking and smoking and all that shit and sherm and all that bullshit, dippers and water and heroin and crack. Don't be ashamed, because if you're doing something you're ashamed of, you shouldn't be doing it. You shouldn't be doing it anyway. But you know what these substances do. You know how they hinder your growth and development in every area of your life, every aspect of your life, from economic to physical. And based on the fact that over the years, by our people not being educated or understanding that this is just an energy, which they try to say is a disease, it creates dis-ease, because disease means dis-ease. You're at a dis-ease internally, based on putting those substances in you that alters your balance, as a black god or black goddess. So, and it's just an energy. It's just, and once you, rid yourself of that, you begin to bring balance to yourself. You begin to have, more of a God stability, more of a spiritual stability within you. Because based on the fact, let me go back, based on the fact that by our people being so uneducated about addiction, that like family members, you have family members that will bash, those who in the family that may be using drugs or may be struggling with substance abuse. And so, as time went by, so much bashing has taken place. A lot of people don't want to admit that they are indulging, even though you can clearly see that they are. And that's based on, all of us are blamed for that. All of us, of looking down on each other, when we are functioning on a low frequency. And that makes, and I say us, we all one people, and that makes us not want to be honest and be real. I'm a licensed substance abuse counselor. So and addiction is just a feeling disease. You wanna catch a feeling to get rid of a feeling. You don't want to feel this pain, so you go and buy this feeling, so you won't have to feel that feeling, because it's a feeling disease. And that's why your growth stops. If you start using drugs at 16 and you're 36 now, you're really 16. Because for 20 years, your growth has stopped. For 20 years, So, excuse me. So I hope, you understand where I'm coming from with this. Because all I'm trying to do is just, educate our people so we can have love for each other, and, if you fucked up, admit it, do what you need to do, because doing it, all the years I've been in the street, I never seen anybody that was fucked up off of drugs and alcohol that wanted to be fucked up. You always hear people say, I'm tired of this shit. I'm gonna get some help tomorrow. And then you say the same thing every day. And sometimes it takes divine intervention by way of the judicial system. Meaning, in other words, some of us, the only way we stop using is when we get locked up. You know, some people got to go to jail to get clean. And that's all you do is get clean. You don't sober up. Because sobriety is an internal process. It's an emotional process. Anybody can get clean. Clean is just a physical abstinence. But getting sober is an internal process. You know, you gotta do an internal cleansing. You know, you gotta make amends for shit you've done. You know, all the wrong you've done. You gotta stand up, you know, and do your best, you know, to plug in and to be a productive member of black society. You know, and it's not hard to do that. You know, but it takes a lot of courage to step up to the plate, you know, and say, man, you know, I'm fucked up, you know where I can get some help at, man, because I'm tired of living like this. See, it takes a lot of courage to do that. It don't take no courage to say, oh, man, I ain't got no motherfucking problem, and, you know, mind your motherfucking business. What about you? See, all these are that's the demonic energy from addiction talking. You know, that's not the individual. That's not really the individual. Because you don't hear that type of talking from somebody that has sobered up, that has cleansed, did some internal cleansing. That's not a lingo that's used with somebody that's functioning on a high frequency. You know, and also, you know, the family dynamics have to be reestablished. The main thing is that the black man has to be respected once again, regardless what his economic status is, where he stands at. If he's in his God self, yeah, the man has to get his props. Queens, it's up to you queens to make these brothers feel like men, because you have the ability to bring us up, but you also have the ability to tear us down. You know, because and I'm gonna be honest, a lot of you queens, based on your past histories and issues and things that you haven't dealt with, you make your black gods suffer for that. You hold him responsible for a lot of things that happened to you before you even met the God, because you haven't worked on a lot of issues internally. You know when they say everybody has skeletons in their closet and all that shit. I'm not down with that shit. That all that says is that, you know, certain shit you just don't say, whether it destroys you or not. Don't mention it, and that's bullshit. Don't make sense. You know, you have to know. You know, if you have something that you have to let out, sometimes you may have to talk to a total stranger. I've done it, talk to hobos, motherfuckers laying on the ground, just to get it all for me. And you'd be surprised the type of help I've gotten from brothers laying down on the sidewalk, you know, just living behind the public library, you know, sleeping in front of the Burger King and all that shit. You'd be surprised the help I've gotten from those brothers. Because you never know, you might come around your next time that you come around, it might be you out there. So I always tell people, be careful what you laugh at, because the same thing make you laugh, make you cry. You know, and most of the time when you hear people giggling and laughing all the motherfucking time, those people be hurting a lot. If you listen to what Smokey Robinson said, his song Tears of a Clown, you know, when no one's around, you know. So, you know, I just want to drop A lot of these lines, drop some information and some science and some jewels. Once again, like I said, when I'm talking to you all, I'm talking to me because I know my information and what I'm sharing with you and what I've always shared with you is helping a lot of y'all. Whether you want to admit it or not, it's helping a lot of y'all. And and that's what I do. That's what I do. And it helps me grow. It's part of my growth and development. Because it's not easy to come in front of a camera and put this shit together and come up and not have any shame and peel yourself down to the core and expose yourself in front of the world. That's just not something just as easy as brushing your teeth. It's not that simple. And it takes a lot of research as well when you dealing with different subjects. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when I be doing videos, sometimes I have the light be blinding me, so sometimes my eyes may be closed, but that's just because of the lighting of the the lighting that's in here for the camera light. So I notice that sometimes, but it's all good, because the information that I'm bringing y'all, is a sobering divine, coming from a sobering divine platform, and you know it as well as I do, and we have to stop knocking each other, criticizing each other, bringing each other down, being jealous and hateful of one another, especially within the family, family, it appears that they don't want to see each other grow, because, and all black families, I see this, they all competing with each other to see who can be the best among the family, be the best person you can be to yourself, and then that will just reflect, that energy will just, expand all around you, and it will penetrate everybody that's you're connected with. I try to be as clear as possible. I don't try to, talk, in a different way than who I am, and I work on improving that, my diction and all that each and every day. None of us are perfect. I just strive to be the best Tashaka, Kareem, Sankofa Hill that I can be. And that's all I ask of you all. Be the best that you can be. I help you bring the goodness out of you, because we all have it in us, all of us. And I just hope that we just stop, smothering all that God energy with a whole bunch of bullshit, hatred, jealousy, envy, backstabbing, gossip, drug use, alcohol use, over-sexing, overeating, over-gambling, promiscuity, breaking up marriages, don't want to see other people happy. Poor me. I'm the victim and everything. See, all this shit, man, all this bullshit, man. Poisoning the community. Knocking out the elders, man. Because you sold them drugs and they got something on credit and they don't have the money. So you want to front in front of everybody, and hit a 65-year-old man, knock him out to the concrete. Or sodomize somebody's mother or grandmother. Make them, suck the bill off. But you can't take it when the shoe's on the other foot. When your mom or pop or your peoples are doing that shit, you ready to kill up everything. So be mindful of that. Even though those who hustle, because I know before I see my family starve, I be right out there with y'all. I don't give a fuck what you think of me. I'll try all other avenues first, and if they don't work or if it's taking too long, we're gonna eat one way or the other. It's just that simple. But I would ask for forgiveness while I'm out there, because I know that's not the way to liberation and salvation, as to keep my people in the Frankenstein mode. And I'm not knocking the people that's, because there's a lot of good brothers and sisters out there, primarily a lot of good brothers out there that's, getting their grind on, that have compassion for other people. But at the same time, you have to ask for forgiveness, because that's not, that's unhealthy. That's very unhealthy to the community. Your participation in the destruction of it. So I'll be getting back with you all shortly. I might see y'all again. Depending on in my travels, if I run into something interesting that I need to discuss. And finally, once again, for you gays, Trump said y'all ain't got nothing coming. Y'all ain't got shit coming. You cocksucking faggots, and you old ass chewing motherfucking bull dykes, LGBT and black fags matter and all that shit, and cocksuckers matter and carpet munchers matter, all that bullshit. Trump said y'all ain't got shit coming. He's vetoing a whole rack of shit for you motherfuckers. Getting y'all thought y'all was gonna turn this motherfucker into Rome. Nah, it ain't gonna happen. Now with Trump in the office, and the Latino community once again, all that, trying to deport, Jesus Christo, I illegal. I don't want to go back to Nicaragua today. Nah, don't come crying to me with that shit. Cause you was the same motherfucking ones in McDonald's throwing motherfucking people's food and all that shit. Calling them negative and all that bullshit. Marico negative. I'm not locking arms with you motherfuckers whatsoever. Until you motherfuckers get on the front line. The next time a brother or sister is murdered by one of these goddamn pigs, and when I see you motherfuckers on the front line actually going toe to toe with these motherfucking crackers, then I may consider. Do some John Brown type shit. Then I may consider. But other than that, nah. No, hell no. So, I'll be getting back with y'all shortly. Hotel, Black Power. And before I go, as always, Brother Harris Abdul, Chief of Staff, Street Law Soldiers, rest in power. And the rest of my brothers and sisters, that have made their ascension within the last few years. All our scholars, all our warriors, peace.